original host, but how good was it just to hear your name out here on a Selection Monday?
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun being back in the room, kind of with the camera on you and stuff, and just feel like we earned it. So we're all really excited.
What's the initial reaction to the Chapel Hill regional field?
Yeah, I think it's a blend of great baseball, a lot of history and culture between all four of these teams in there, and so I think we're really excited to get going.
How much is your Georgia experience going to help you to sort of talk to these guys about playing maybe at LSU and playing in the tournament?
Yeah, I think we all bring different things. We got a few guys that are from Long Island too that are familiar with LIU, and then at Georgia I had the experience to play LSU a lot, and I played Wofford as well. So I think there is a lot of sense of familiarity for me in this regional, which is nice.
Parks, was there a reaction in you guys' room when you saw the reigning national champs pop up in the regional? I mean, I think some people think it's kind of a tough draw.
No, I think we're all excited. I think that was the first thing. I think we're all competitors, right? So who wouldn't want the reigning national champs in your regional? Because you get a chance, to compete against a team that went all the way last year. So I think it's a really great opportunity for us, and we're all really excited.
Obviously, this LSU team is different than the one that you faced a year ago at Georgia, but can you see any similarities between the two with anything you may have watched for them this year?
Yeah, I think, down the last month they've had some really good starting pitching, and they've had some good timely hitting, and that's a recipe for success in baseball, and obviously they've been hot down the stretch. But I think we just continue to play our game, control things we can control, and it should be a lot of fun.
You guys have had this awesome regular season. How do you kind of channel that into when the sample size gets a lot smaller and anything can happen?
Yeah, I think we just trust our preparation, right? I think Coach Forbes always talks about, like, if you prepare the right way, you practice hard, then it should be easy once you get to the field. So I think if we can just trust what we've done since August, and we've really come together as a group, and so just know that our preparation has prepared us for this moment.
A couple days removed now from the weight game, what are your major takeaways from that that you kind of take into this regional?
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway was we all got to experience an electric atmosphere with, I'm not sure how many people were there, but it was packed. And loud fans, a great pitcher. I've seen them out of Chase Burns. So I think a game like that prepared us for the games that are going to come these next few weeks.
Also, this is your second Chapel Hill regional. The first, tell me about the first one. Didn't go so well.
No, the first one was funny. I had been in Chapel Hill before, but never been able to see the Bosch because you kind of can't see it from the street. And so I kind of walked down here for practice on Thursday, and I was like blown away just how, because you see places on TV, but you never really realize what they look like when you get here. So I was really blown away, and then obviously playing here and lost to Carolina. So I was happy we got to play Carolina because I think you always want to play the team that hosts the regional, and so that was cool for me to experience the tradition and the home fans here. So it definitely made my decision coming here a lot easier.
Parks, when you guys lost the other night in Charlotte, Scott was talking a little bit about some of the teams that have reached Omaha from here didn't win the ACC tournament, even though they obviously wanted to. I mean, has that been sort of part of his message in the last couple of days that some of those teams got as far as they did without winning the ACC?
Yeah, definitely. He's told us, obviously we want to win every single game we play, and we really, really wanted to win that tournament in Charlotte. We went down there to win it. But, sometimes things happen, and in baseball it doesn't always go your way. But his message after that game was just to take everything that we learned in that game, take that experience, take some of the little things we might not have done well, and use that to prepare us going forward, and say, that one loss against Wake isn't going to, change the outlook of our season or anything. So just kind of keep with the process.
The little mistakes seem to be an issue against Wake Forest. Is that something that would be easy to fix?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was just one game, right? It's easy to highlight one game out of, the 56 we played. And in that one game, there are some things that we could have that we will clean up. But, that doesn't change that we've done some of those things really, really well throughout the season. And I'm very, very confident that we'll continue to do this well in the postseason.
How excited are you just to have more baseball at the Bosch?
Yeah, I'm pumped. It's so nice just to feel comfortable, sleep in your own bed, be able to drive to the field and don't feel rushed and stuff. So I'm super fortunate to be able to do that, my last year of college baseball. I'm super excited.
And along those lines, do you feel like this is something, the number 4 national seed, that you guys have earned with the way you played this year?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's no question. I think, the baseball we played all year, we deserved to be national seed, and we, deserved to be able to be here for a regional. I think it's something that, it's a goal that we have at the beginning of the season. Our main goal is just to take each day by day, but when you do things, you do that the right way, you're hoping to be able to play home baseball in June, and we're lucky enough to do so.
Who on the team has been really crunching the numbers for doing the bracketology?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you guys have been fired up about that.
Yeah, we look at, you look at, obviously we're human, so we look at every single prediction and stuff. But we felt really confident. I think the last week that we had an idea that we were going to be a 3 or 4 seed. And then I learned in my experience at Georgia how those predictions, they try their best, but you really have no idea until it comes on TV. I remember my freshman year, we thought we were going to make it, and then we didn't even make the field. And then my sophomore year, we were going, from Oregon State all the way to Florida State. We had no idea where we were going, and then we ended up here. So, you try to look at the teams, you try to figure it out, but you never really can. But it always provides some entertainment for all of us.
Since we can I get one more? Since we've got you, like for you personally, has this been what you envisioned when you got in the portal, or has it been even better than for yourself personally? I'm saying in terms of the season you've had and the fit that you've had with this team. Like, has this been better than you could have imagined?
Yeah,
how would you say?
Yeah, I'd say for me, to throw all numbers and stats out of it, I've been blown away just by my experience here, and I think that plays a big role. And then how you play on the field for sure, but just my experience with the team, with the coaching staff, on campus, academically, just socially, it's been so positive, and I'm so grateful for it. And I feel like this year here has really changed my life for the better. And all that goes to just the guys on the team and Coach Forbes and the whole staff for how they embrace me and everything. Yep.
Thanks, Parker.
Thanks, Parker.
Thank you.
Taken.
Great stuff,
Thank
Marks.
you. I appreciate
you, man.
Yep.
Scott got the good collared shirt on. Colby, what's up?
How are y'all?
Doing great. How about you?
Great.
Where else would you rather be?
Nowhere.
I'm joking.
Right. Well, I mean, you guys knew that you were going to be a host, but how good was it just to kind of hear your name and have that reaffirmed today during the selection show?
Yeah, that's awesome. Always awesome time. It's my 4th year doing it, so I've been where we didn't know if we were going to get in, to where are we going, to we're going to be at home, to maybe we'll be a host for the Super. So that's a fun time, and just seeing the whole thing play out on TV is pretty cool.
The field is certainly interesting with the reigning national champ coming here to Chapel Hill. What was kind of the reaction from the team?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a reaction to all the teams that pop up on that board, just because everyone's paying attention to the year that people had and stuff. But none of that really matters once you start playing. Just try to take it one game at a time. Doesn't really matter who you're playing. Everyone wants to go to the same place, and we're not really worried about the outcomes. We're just gonna practice today and keep going with that process and take it one day at a time.
What have you learned for the years of playing in these regionals, and what have you told the younger players about the experience?
Yeah, well, you want to be at home for sure. Like Park said a little while ago, you want to sleep in your own bed and stuff, but just kind of, playing in the conference that we play in and the schedule that we play every year here, that really helps. You don't really have to explain much to them because, we're playing such hard games week in and week out, and that's a regional and that's a Super, and so that the season kind of prepares them for that.
Colby, and along those lines, have you guys developed a certain amount of confidence just playing here? Obviously, the record you guys have put up here has been pretty dang good. I mean, is there a confidence to the way you guys play in this park now?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think everyone plays a little bit better at home probably, but just we want to play the same game, regardless of where you're at and the team you're playing, and we're just trying to do the best we can do. But baseball's a silly game sometimes,
yeah.
So it doesn't always work out how you want it. But we feel good to be in Chapel Hill, and it'll be a great time.
What's the team's mentality coming out of that Wake Forest game?
Oh yeah, I mean nothing's really changed. Nothing really changed going into that game either. We're trying to play our ball and do the best we can do and clean up little mistakes. And even in games we win, there's mistakes, So just try to play the cleanest game you can, play hard, and hopefully it'll take over for itself, and we can just continue to play good ball moving forward and get to where we want to go.
Among those of you that were here in 2022, how is this, how's that experience kind of helped coming into this, and how can you kind of, tell some of the new guys about what it's going to be like?
Yeah, that for sure helps. But like I said, we play a pretty good schedule every year, so that really just prepares the younger guys, and the older guys have been there, so but it doesn't make it easier. So you just gotta focus, like I said, game to game, and we'll focus today on practice, and then we'll focus tomorrow, practice the next day, and then we'll come in on the first game and try to win that game, and we'll go to the next game and try to win that one and keep going. So that's kind of how it builds up.
Touching on Touching on 2022, you're one of the few guys that played against Tommy White when he was at NC State. What do you remember about kind of what he brings to a team? Oh yeah, I mean he's a great player. That's a great team, and all the teams that are coming here are really good teams and have really good guys. So
we can't really focus on one or two guys, but the whole team. But yeah, he's a great player, and that was a crazy year, and so that'll be cool to get back on the field with him because when the draft comes up, he'll be a name that'll pop up. So yeah, that's pretty cool for sure.
Have you gotten the LIU scouting report from Castagnazzi, the quick scouting report? I'm sure he's had something to say.
We actually got a lot of guys from up there, so they were all pretty excited that we got them, and that's a pretty cool moment for them because they just grew up around there, and that was pretty funny.
Is there a sense of urgency this time of year? I mean, you've been around long enough, but
Oh yeah, I mean, the whole like I've said a couple of times already, the whole season is just. We're playing so many good teams, and even not out of conference, the teams we're playing in state are just really, really good teams. So yeah, I mean the urgency picks up as the year goes on, but really, I mean we're just trying to play our best game, play our best ball, and trust the process, and just get out there and do the best we can do. And once we start playing, the urgency is the same regardless of who the opponent is or what time of year it is.
The other night in Charlotte, it was 12 innings of pretty good stuff in terms of the stars coming out and like 10,000 people there. What was it like just playing in that game, and what do you think the mood of this team was when you guys left out of there and had to come back here?
Yeah. I mean that was a great game, a great experience. Luckily, I've been here for 4 years, and we were in Texas Tech Regional, and the next year we played state in the ACC championship in the same stadium, and then we played Arkansas here that year, and we go to ECU, and that's a big experience for a lot of people. So we've been in a lot of those games where it's tons of people, the stakes are a little bit higher, but so all that helps, and that was a good game, and hopefully next time we're in a game like that, we're winning it.
thanks, Colby.
Yep.
Good stuff, Colby. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
y'all.
it. Well, I mean, to be the best, you got to beat the best, or the reigning national champs. What was kind of the reaction to LSU coming here?
I mean, it's fitting, number one, for this team because not many people have talked a lot about our team, throughout the season, and we've got one of the best teams in the country. But again, you got to beat great teams, and LSU's program is their program. I think it's awesome. LSU coming here will bring out the best in everybody that's here. But they're not the only team here. And I have to remind our guys that we've got to play really good against Long Island to play Wofford or LSU. So I'm excited about it, but I'm more excited for our guys. And this is the time of year that, as a coach, if you've done your job, you don't have to do nearly as much because the guys, it's their time.
How difficult as a national seed can it be to not overlook that first 1-4 game, not potential matchups?
It's not hard for me, and I can tell them, I've been in the shoes that they've been in, national seed, and lost to Davis. So that's exactly what I will tell them at the end of the practice today. Like, if you want to talk about LSU, the next thing you know, you don't ever play LSU for some reason or the other. So this team, it won't be difficult. We've got a lot of guys that watched Arkansas celebrate on our field. We got a lot of guys that had to go on the road last year and watch their teammates' season in a regional. So, that's motivation, it always is. And these guys are driven, and they know we're playing at home, and playing at home means something.
How does that experience in 2022, playing SEC teams like Georgia and Arkansas, kind of help for the guys that are still here?
Yeah. I mean, you look at the history of, in the ACC and the SEC, you looked at the national seeds and the host. The ACC teams were going somewhere, and they weren't going to other ACC teams. So I told our coaches last night that I really felt like we were going to get an SEC team as a 2 seed. And in my heart of hearts, for some reason, I thought it was going to be Mississippi State or LSU, and it ended up being LSU. But our league is really good. And when you face teams that we faced all year, and you face a guy like Chase Burns, and you face an offense like Virginia's, our guys know, like, hey, we played these teams, and now all these teams are going to be similar. But that's what our league does for us, thankfully.
What do you remember about playing Parks Harber 2 years ago in the region?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. I didn't watch that one from the dugout against Georgia. I was in an undisclosed
Oh, that's
location.
right.
But I watched it on
Why were you out there?
TV, and my breath got taken away when that ball was hit, and then I celebrated with the people I was watching the game with when he robbed it. What great memories that was, good and bad, I guess. But you know, for Parks, when there's a coaching change, you know, and you've been in a place like that and he grew up with Georgia, guy, it tells you how much faith he had in our program when he visited, and he's a very academic kid as well, but we wouldn't be where we are without Parks Harper. And I look at Georgia's offense, I'm like, goodness gracious, if he was still at Georgia, they might have 200 home runs. So I'm just thankful that he chose us.
Is there
Scott, when you guys obviously get together to watch this today, it's an exciting time, and you know, you find out who's finally coming here. After that, did you have a quick message for these guys before you head out here to practice, and what was it? Or
Just,
what thoughts were you
just
getting?
go to work. That's been the message the whole year. As cliche as it sounds, you know, don't miss today, don't miss being together. The Friday will come fast enough. But our backbone has been being process oriented, not being too high, not being too low. We lifted early this morning before. Our position players lifted at 9:15. Practice has already been set up, and they know that practice is important. And really, I told them Thursday is an NCAA practice. It's like 80 minutes, so it's almost like a walkthrough in football the day before. So these next 3 days, we've got to get to work. We've got to do our preparation. But the biggest message from me to them is it's not about who we're playing. It's about us and our preparation and us being ready to play. Because if we play well, we can beat anybody. If we don't play well, anybody can beat us.
Is this your first practice since the game?
No, we had let's see, today, practice. We got together yesterday. We got back mid-afternoon Saturday. Guys slept in yesterday, and then we got together. The position players did a stretch/yoga session. The pitchers were on the field because, you know, they're creatures of habits and they like their routines, and certain guys wanted to throw. And then today, because, you know, we're used to playing midweek games too, and we want to prepare our guys, so we've probably got 8 to 10 pitchers, including some of our horses that want to throw live against hitters, to get an inning in and to be sharp for the weekend. So that's what we'll do here in a minute if the rain holds off.
32-2 at home this season. You haven't lost back-to-back games here at the Bosch all year long. I mean, how much of a comfort is that going into postseason play?
That's a big comfort. You know, playing at home means something, and I told the crowd today, we've got a great crowd here. It's just amazing to see that, not trying to go off the question that you asked, but when I first got here, we wouldn't have had a crowd like this. In 1999, show up for a selection show, so that's really neat to see. But what was your question? I just drew a blank.
Just, I mean, you haven't lost back-to-back games.
Gotcha. Playing at home at the Bosch. Yeah, I mean, Lord have mercy. You get to play here. That means somebody's got to come through us at our home, and we don't have to pack bags. We don't have to get on a bus. We don't have to get on a plane. There's a comfort factor in that, and we're excited about it, and we need our fans to buy every single ticket so other fans don't.
Is there any special plan for Vance going forward after the back spasms over the weekend?
Man, he felt great today. He felt good enough against Wake Forest on Friday night, but yesterday he felt a little bit better, and then today he told me, he's like, for the most part, I feel as good as I did before it spasmed up. So we'll just keep an eye on it. You know, he has a certain mattress here, which also helps playing at home, and we'll get his treatment. But he looks great, so we'll just get him ready.
He looked like he was moving pretty good Friday night in the outfield.
Yeah. I mean,
he tracked down some balls.
He was way better, but when you have back spasms, it can happen in the middle of the game. But they were able to get it calmed down, and he told me, you know, that morning that he felt like he was going to be at a good enough to go, and he could have played against Pitt too. I just felt like, okay, let's give him one more day.
I'm not trying to get him any NIL deals, but do you know what kind of mattress it is that
That's a great question. I don't know. He's probably already got some.
Yeah, he should. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have no idea.
Yeah.
My guess would be, what would y'all guess? Tempur-Purity?
Sleep number?
Sleep number, Serta.
I liked how you blamed the hotel bed in Charlotte the other day. That was pretty good.
I know. Is that bad?
No.
I know. I'm a big Marriott guy too.
Yeah,
Hopefully they won't hold that against me.
So you playing Shea Friday? Jason Friday, Shea Saturday?
I don't know yet. When practice is over today, I've got a conference call at 4 with the NCAA, and we'll find out what time we play. You know, based on whether or not they TV can tell you what time. I don't know. We need to look at all 3 teams. I do feel like we have flexibility with our 3 starters of switching it if we want to. I don't think it's a big deal. We'll look at it more as what we feel like is the best matchup for game 1 and throw that guy. And then, or if they're equal, who's the better matchup against Wofford or LSU.
Were some of your New York guys fired up about LIU coming here?
Well, there's an ongoing joke about it because I'm always messing with DeCaro.
Okay. I didn't know if Castagnazzi.
Yeah, those two guys especially. They talk about all the time the Sharks. We were watching them play somebody on TV, maybe Miami early in the season.
Okay.
I think they went to Miami, and they were talking about the next couple of days. They probably know some guys there, and from being from up there. So we were just saying how ironic it would be if they were in our region when they popped up. That's why the guys went crazy.
3 days removed now from that Wake game. What are the kind of the major takeaways from you and your coaching staff?
You know, really, I thought it was an unbelievable game. A thing here or there, you know, when you're trying to bunt against 100, people say, how do you prepare for that? Honestly, I don't know if we do prepare for it because I'm afraid somebody's going to get hurt if I put the machine on 100. So you just got to hope they can get it down. So I wasn't too hard on our guys about that and that nasty slider. I thought the most impressive thing about that game for us was, I mean, our guys are human beings. They know that we're going to be a national seed. They know we're going to host. We go down 4-0. But one of the traits of this team is 27 outs, and they kept plugging, kept it close enough, and then all of a sudden we took the lead. Unfortunately, we didn't get the win. I think the biggest thing that I'll take away from that is probably, a different decision here or there that will make us all better in this region.
Was that one of the best games you ever been involved in? It was a pretty dang high-level game.
The crowd made it, if there hadn't been a sellout, it wouldn't have been the same. The buzz, I think, that's what these guys deserve. The best two games I've been involved in, and I can't say it's the best because we lost, but in 13 we played state, I believe, 18 innings in the ACC tournament.
We won that game.
We won that game. Carlos Rodon threw 10 innings.
He did. It was 17-inning game.
17-inning game.
Yeah.
But we won.
Some of us were there.
Yeah, I mean, that was phenomenal. And then we had to get up the next day and play Virginia Tech, and I had two pitchers on the game card, Taylor Cherry and Trevor Kelly. And it's like, well, we'll see how this goes. And
you won the game?
We won the game. We won the game. And then the Florida Atlantic game here, that same year, the regional, where I'm in here in the dugout thinking, like, this might be one of the best, if not the best seasons we've had top to bottom. And I might be on the road recruiting tomorrow after they hit that grand slam off Benton Moss, and they hit the 3-run home run off McHugh. So I've been fortunate to be in great games, but I'm always going to pick the ones that we come out on top as the greatest, that's for sure.
Talk about the experience level. Guys like Colby that have been here and done this. You got a ton of young guys. You got a ton of older guys that hadn't played in the tournament, really. Just talk about the importance of those older guys.
Yeah, they're the ones that lead the way anyway in the locker room, but they're the ones that we need to lead through that. And then having a guy like Parks Harber that's played in the SEC and been on the road in regionals is also important. But going back to that game in Charlotte, that's why I'm glad that draw ended up being that draw. We didn't come out on top, but we knew, okay, when that happened, they're going to throw Chase Burns. Everybody wants to come see the potential first pick, and everybody wants, there are a lot of Tar Heels in the area. So really, I mean, I don't think this place holds how many people were at that game?
There were 9+.
Yeah,
9,
so we won't get 9,000 in here, I don't think. We're going to have to find a way to make sure the LSU fans aren't having their RVs with parking down there on field hockey. But that's going to help the newer guys like D'Onofrio, Madera, playing in that big environment. But I also tell the guys, I was like, listen, in 2006 I was in the dugout when Flack hit that walk off, and those guys had not been to Omaha. We hadn't been to Omaha since 1989. So every season's new, and the biggest thing is when that first pitch starts, you have to know that your adrenaline level is going to be higher, your emotions are going to be higher, you're going to be amped up, and then you just have to slow down.
Scott, listening to you talk the last couple of weeks, I mean, you won the Coastal, you had the best record in the ACC, and you still kind of talked about having a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. Do you think that these guys, this team, are hungry for this moment and the tournament that's ahead of them? Yeah,
100%, because the guys here, I mean, they all become Tar Heels, and they understand the tradition. And if you really go back and look at it, that's what I was talking about to the crowd when I was texting with Coach Fox last night is since 2006, we had 2 seasons where we didn't make a regional, but just go look at how many times we've hosted a regional and how many times we've been a national seed. Doesn't mean we went to Omaha every single time. And it's like it's taken for granted sometimes, I think, and because it's really, really hard to do. So I reminded these guys, like, obviously don't be content with what you've done, because this is why you do it, so you can play at home.
Sure.
But the percentages of hosting are under 7% because there's so many Division I teams, and being a national seed is under 3%. And I think we've been a national seed maybe 7-8 times, somewhere in that bunch, and hosted a lot. And I hope the people that support these guys say, hey, it ain't that easy. Just look across, Florida just played the national championship. LSU just played in the national championship, but they're not hosting. It's not easy. Ole Miss won the national championship 3 years ago, and this is back-to-back seasons without making the regional. Look at Louisville. I mean, Louisville's one of the best programs, top to bottom, in the ACC the last however many years they've been in the ACC, and I believe this is 3 out of 4 years for them not getting in. I thought they should have got in. So that's why, I think the tradition and appreciating that, and these guys want to pay that back to those players, this place is good at baseball, and they want to try to make a statement and get back to Omaha and be the first team to ever win a national championship, because it's not something we've done.
Then you thought you were done with Tommy Tanks?
Man, shoot.
Good question.
You know what? I've always respected the player he is, and I felt like we'll probably have to face him sometime. Most likely it would have been in Omaha if we made it last year, and sure enough, he comes up, and I'm like, I really felt like in my heart of hearts, LSU was going to be here at NC State. So, we'll face him again. We faced him 2 years ago, 4 games.
Did it surprise you that East Carolina is a host and Duke isn't?
Man, they've been so good for so long. I'm not in that committee, so no, it didn't really surprise me. I didn't break it down enough, and that's the good thing of having a great year, because I've been on the other side where you saw some of those teams. You saw James Madison; they didn't know if they were getting in, and then 2010, all of a sudden we're in. We didn't make the ACC tournament. We were ecstatic. So I also don't take for granted today. But when that's the case, I don't pay attention to anything except I know that we're hosting. I know we're a national seed, and whoever we play is whoever we play. But we're going to be playing at home. We all get to sleep in our own bed and come in here and enjoy being at Boshamer Stadium. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Scott, thank you, buddy.
Practice time.